What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Michigan Pro Style Playbook in College Football 25. This is the Jim Harbaugh playbook. Yes, he is gone. He's moved on to the NFL, but Sherrod Moore, pretty much, he was the offensive coordinator for him the last few years, so it's the same offense. Just expect a lot of old school pro style, a little more shotgun, but a lot of tight ends, and a lot of tight ends. And I talked a little bit about this. This is one of my 10 playbooks and my 10 fun tight end heavy playbook video, and this one is just right up there in terms of what you can kind of expect. Just again, a lot of tight end love, but we're gonna go over the formations and concepts and play types and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video you'll have a rough idea of what this playbook is all about. So again, this is a pro style playbook. Expect a lot of different concepts both in the run game and in the pass game, but this one is just a little more geared towards bigger formations and personnel groupings. But let's start off with formations first. As you can tell, we got several different types of formations. We got a lot of shotgun, we got a little bit of pistol, we got some single back, we got some I formation, we even got one strong I formation, then you're headed to your basic goal line and such. So again, this is pro style. It's going to throw a lot of different looks at you. And we're going to start off with shotgun first. This is the bulk of the playbook is going to be in the shotgun. Now you got wing pair. This is a 13 personnel. This is going to be the most 13 base personnel playbook that you'll probably find in the game. One back, three tight ends. So you got wing pair, you got wing tight Z, then you got wing slot offset. This is now we're getting to 12 personnel. Then you get into East X over. I'm pretty sure this particular formation is very rare in terms of like only a few playbooks have it. Then you got wing trips weak. Now we're getting to 11 personnel. You get a bunch strong offset, bunch X nasty. Then you got spread Y flex. Then you got tray offset. Then we get into empty base flex, and then we're back to wing pair. So there's not a ton of shotgun in here, but it's actually more shotgun than anything else in this playbook. But if you notice, your tight end, your number 18 in this instance, is in every single one of these formations, along with throwing in some other tight ends in there, again, like wing pair. So kind of keep that in mind. We got a little bit of pistol. We got pistol U off. That's 12 personnel. You got your two tight ends out there. You got wing slot over, another 12 personnel look. Then we got U off, wing slot over. Those are the only two that you have right there. And then you go over to single back. It's kind of the same thing, but this one's got a 13 personnel look and wing pair, 18 plays there. Then you got 18 plays for wing tight U. Then we go into wing X off. Then you go to bunch ace. Now you're back to wing pair. So your next most popular group of formations is actually single back. So if you want to get under center a little bit, but still want to keep that same one back look with the big tight ends, this is just a great playbook for you. You look at I formation, we got a few things here. There's not a ton of playbooks in this game that have a lot of I formation. Just go look for any of the pro style playbooks. You're going to find probably at least a little bit of this. Well, this playbook has quite a bit of it. You got wing over 15 plays there. You got wing or I tight. Then you got I close. Then you got wing again. Then you got back to wing over. So again, notice the pattern here. A lot of just big sets, a lot of tight ends. At least you got a fullback in there this time. Speaking of a fullback, you got strong pro. This is the only strong formation in the playbook, but you got 15 plays of it. If you need some of that, that's a good complement to your I formation. And that is pretty much it for formations. But again, the bulk of it's going to be shotgun, then some single back, a little bit of I formation, then you sprinkle in some of that pistol and strong. You go over to personnel. We've already hinted at some of this. Let's go to the very top. 12 personnel. Again, the theme, tight ends, tight ends, tight ends. You got wing slot offset, East X over. Then you're going to the pistol with U off, wing slot over, then under single back, wing X off, bunch ace, and now you're back to the shotgun again. So a lot of 12 personnel. This is actually going to be the bulk of that. Then you head into like 11 personnel, which is like the next most popular one. Then you go to 13 personnel. This is what differentiates this playbook for, I think, from anything else. Just so much of the 13 personnel look. Then you go to 32 personnel. That's just your QB kneel. 23, that's just your goal line. 22, you got a little bit of it. Again, if you want to throw a little fullback in there with those tight ends, you got plenty to work with here. Then you go to 21 personnel. That's your eye close and your strong pro and your clock management. Then the rest of the playbook is going to be your 11 personnel. So wing trips weak, bunch strong offset, X nasty, spread Y flex, and we're back to tray offset again. So notice that we don't have any 10 personnel. Now, there may be a sub package in here where you could probably substitute Maybe in here you could probably put 4 wide receivers in there if needed by default. But again, by default, we have no 10 personnel, no 4 wide sets, no 5 wide sets. It's just a lot of tight ends. It's just a wild, crazy playbook, which I really like. Again, if you're a tight end guy. All right, let's talk about some concepts. Let's go over to concepts. Let's go over to runs. Now, keep this in mind. When it comes to concepts, the way they organize these in this game, you may not see all the plays in here based off concepts or play types, but at least it gives you a rough idea of kind of which concepts are the theme of the playbook. So you're looking at the play count. You got 112-ish runs, 20-something options, so on and so forth. Let's start off with runs. Now, remember, this is a pro-style playbook. You're going to have a little bit of everything in terms of basic running. So you got 9 sweeps. And when it comes to sweeps, I think these are pretty cool if you can pull them off. Just need decent blocking. Come up the field there, get a few yards there, get about 6 or 7 or so. That's a nice little gun toss play I really like. You go back and look. You got toss from various types of formations. You got more from shotgun. Then you can get under center, like quick pitch from single back bunch ace. You can go from I formation close. So you got 9 of those. You got 34 inside zones. Now, as we all know, inside zone is the most popular run concept in the game, and there are 18 million different ways to do it in this playbook. Technically, there's 34-ish, or around 34. Again, you just see a bunch of different ways to go about attacking the inside of your offensive line. So this is going to be your number 1 run concept. Then you go over to counter. We got 10 of these. That's more than enough to enjoy, I would think, and I'm a big gap scheme guy. You only got 2 draws, so you'll kind of notice the more amount of draws you have, the more passing you're going to see throughout. So there's only 2 draws in this one. That just shows you this is just a very run-heavy playbook. You go to ISO, there's only 6 of these. You go to outside zone, 15. That's a good, strong number if you like to stretch that to the C gap and whatnot. You go to power, we got 31 powers. This is your other big run concept. So I'm going to go ahead and go like with Jet Duo. You got a motioned wide receiver going to help you out in blocking. That's why they call it a power play, just because of that wide receiver blocking for you, if you can get good blocking with it. But either way, there's just a ton of it in here. Again, anytime you see 20 plus of anything, you need to use that in this playbook. And we got over 30 power runs in this playbook, which is really nice. Again, I'm a big gap scheme guy. So you go to trap, there's only 3 of these. Then you got end around, 2 of those technically. All right, so the bulk of this is going to be your power and your inside zone with a little counter if you want to mix that in, along with a little bit of sweep if you want some of that as well. You go to option, there's not much here. This is not an option playbook. It's got a little bit, and the bulk of it's actually going to be RPOs, if that tells you anything. So you got a power read. This is inverted veer. You got some read options. This is always like the most common option concept in the game. Zone option, technically it's 1, which is technically a speed option. Then the rest of it's going to be your RPOs. You got an RPO read. Then you have, this is usually a front side RPO. Then you got your peaks. You only got 1 of those. And you got 11 alerts. Alert is a backside RPO. So think behind the back of the quarterback. That's kind of the way I look at it. So I'm just looking here. You only have 1 read pretty much. You got your wide receiver on the left, and I'm just reading his defender, the corner. If he bails on him really quickly, I can go to him. If not, I'll just hand the ball off. So in this case, we're just going to run that one. You just saw that corner creep up on the receiver. Either way, plenty of those, 11. So I would mix some of that in as well. But that's it for your option stuff. Just not a ton in here. You go to quick pass. We have a little bit more than what you would think. Now, in past playbooks that we've covered, stick and slant are the 2 go-tos, but we got a little bit of some things in here we want to look at. We got 2 Ohios. We got 1 Omaha. You got 4 scats. You got 7 slants. That's pretty typical. You got 9 spacings. This should be common in a pro-style playbook. Spacing is pretty nice if you like. It's just another way to attack the short field with some quicks. Go to the halfback right here, pick up some yardage. Really nice stuff. Again, that's a typical West Coast type of concept. And you can go back and look and see what that looks like. You pretty much have a flat with 2 curls underneath it. Okay, so you got 7, or what was that? We got 9 of those, and you got 7 stick. Everybody knows what stick is. That's pretty typical air raid, quick game. So between slant, spacing, and stick, you have actually a whole lot more quick game than most other playbooks in the game. You go to medium pass. We got a little bit of everything here. Notice all the different types we have, and notice the play count. Again, this is just a rough count. Again, they may not show every single play for each one of these concepts, but you notice the play count. We got 6 choice, 6 curls, 4 doubles. We got 5 drives. We got 3 levels. We got 6 mesh. We got 4 shallows. We got 5 slot cross. We only got 10 smash. We got 8 spots, and we got 1 Texas. So notice the theme here. You don't have one of a lot of anything like we've seen in past playbooks. You just got a little bit of everything. If you just need a handful of doubles, a little handful of drive, it's got it. It doesn't have 30 smashes. It only has 10. We've seen in past playbooks where you have 20 plus smash concepts. But this one, like any other pro style playbook, has just a little bit of everything when it comes to your passing attack. You go to deep, we got 11 comebacks. We got 3 daggers. We got 1 divide, 4 double post, 17 flood. That should tell you may want to run some flood in this playbook. There's plenty of it in here. I love flood, just the same side read. Pretty simple stuff there. You go to 10 verticals. You got 3 meals, 3 Portlands, 15 shot plays. Remember, this is a run offense. So you're going to run. You're going to do play action off of that. Shot kind of goes with that because you see some of these play actions in here. For example, we got PA double post. I'm going to go ahead and select that one just for kicks. We'll go here. I think I can go over the top. If I can get sacked, yeah, I'm just going to get sacked. I've been told a lot of these updates, the play action's been much worse since some of these patches and whatnot. He's wide open. Go to him. This is going to be an easy 6 points. Nice little play there. But anyway, a lot of crossing routes, all that play action. But that's what the shot play is for. You run, then you go over the top, and then a play like that is perfect for it. So you got 15 of those. Then you got 3 switches, and you got 3 wide cross. So out of all of these, it's going to be your shot plays, your play action off your runs. You do got some verticals, but you got a lot of flood. Same side read. Again, that's going to be the bulk of your deep passing. Play action, as we all know, we're going to look at that a little bit different way, but it shows we got roughly 10 boots and 10 slides. I love the slide, just have that backside tight end coming across. I always think that's pretty fun to use. Then you go to screens. We got 13 of these. You got 5 bubbles and 8 flanker screens. That, to me, is actually typical for a pro-style playbook, having a wide receiver getting a screen of some sort. But notice some of these are those RPOs we looked at from before. Okay, now let's go over to play type, just another way to look at your plays. You go to pass, we got 8 quicks, we got 17 standards, a bunch of shotguns, but here are all the play actions, or at least it should be most of them. A lot of interesting stuff in here. They got exit motion. Anybody watches the Miami Dolphins, they like to use that little exit motion, what that tight end is doing right there, except they got Tyreek Hill, which is fun to use. This is probably going to get picked off. Nope, it's going to be a touchdown. Nice. Pretty cool there. This is another thing we're going to look at here a little bit later in terms of some of these pre-snap motions they got in here, which is pretty nasty. But you got a ton of play action. Why? Because it's a pro-style playbook. You're going to run a lot, and you're going to do a lot of play action on top of that. So this is like the third of your offense is play action. Okay, then you got your screens. We got 9 of these, but some of these are going to be those halfback slip screens and wide receiver screens that were not shown in the other concepts. And of course, you got your Hail Marys. Let's go to runs. You got to go over to inside handoff. The bulk of the run game is going to be inside handoff. You got some outside. We talked about those pitches and counters. We got those 2 draws. You got a few fullback runs, and they're all from, like the eye tight and things of that nature, but they're there if you need it. We got 1 technically QB run. That's QB sneak out of goal line. All right. Option, again, there's not much in here. Just going to be your read option, a little bit of speed. Again, just not much. And you got your RPOs. I don't think RPOs will be a big part of your scheme in this playbook. There's enough in here, but there's not enough, if that makes sense. If you're going to do any of it, just stick with the alerts. That's where the bulk of those are at. Anyways, look, you got an exit alert bubble, by the way. That goes with that little exit motion we talked about earlier. And that is it for your play time. So when it comes to formations, what I want to talk about here is you got to treat, when it comes to a pro-style offense, you got to treat a lot of these formations as mini schemes in a sense. So if you go to like wing slot offset, and a lot of these plays kind of work really well together. You go through here, shallow meals. So you got this motion series. You got a fake jet, then you got the sweep on top of that, then you got the play action on top of that. What you need to do is, and here's another one, you got your couple play actions. You can do your basic duo run off of that. inside zone if you want to. So you could run inside zone, then you go over here, then you can run that double post we looked at earlier. You go over to like East X over, that's that exit motion we talked about, X alert bubble. Then you got a play action, then you got a RPO on top of that. So like I've said in previous videos, look at the first few different plays in each formation and kind of notice a theme if there's like a little mini series. Here's another perfect example. You look at wing trips week. They got a new motion. We've talked about this, I think it was the Oregon playbook that had these, or maybe it was, I don't really remember. But anyway, the return motion. You got the slot receiver going in and he goes right back out again. So you got like return curls, for example. All it is just a curls concept, curl flat. But we got a fancy motion to go in there with it. So you see that slot receiver coming through, he'll come back over, and then you're just running basic curls again. Okay, just very simple stuff. You're just putting window dressing onto your scheme just to give the defense something different to look at. But again, you kind of go through these and just pay attention to the series base. Like this is a nice little one. Halfback base, then you got a little buck sweep action to go with that. Then you throw the play action on top of that later on. You keep on going, bunch strong offset. We got a motion stick, we got a motion inside, and we got a motion deep post. They all go together. That's what the pro style does. It just gives you the same looks over and over again, but those different concepts on top of that. So again, you keep going. This is another perfect example. One of my favorite things about this playbook, it shows so many different types of pre-snap motion. It's not just the same ones or just a few of them. We got different ones and they all go together. Another perfect example, spread Y flex week, motion double post. It's that Z receiver coming in on all of these. You got the slip screen, you got the whip crossed, or maybe a few other ones in here. Like here's another one, motion bench curls. Then we got motion bench. Then we got motion X replace. Let's go ahead and select one. We'll go up against something random. So we got the motion from the Z receiver. Then we got a backside triangle concept on the left. Very simple there. Just pick up easy 5 yards. And that's the first time I've literally actually ran that play, honestly. But either way, it's just, I like all the different little things that it comes with it, especially all this pre-snap motion. If you want to get fancy with your playbook in terms of that motion, this is just an awesome playbook for you. So that's why, again, I suggest you go through that, go through all the formations, even the single back and the I formation stuff. Go through here. Look, here's just another option of that. Spacing and counter strong, 2 main concepts in our playbook, but with that window dressing. So let's run a little counter just because, again, I really enjoy the gap stuff. Come over here. Looks like they switched around themselves. Come over here, get up the field. Get a nice little 10, 15 yards, really nice stuff. So again, if you are a pro style guy, if you want a lot of tight ends, if you want to run a lot of runs, a lot of play actions, this is the playbook for you. You got plenty of shotgun, you got plenty of under center stuff, run the ball, go play action, and then work off of that with some other passing concepts. And I think you're gonna have a whole lot of fun with this playbook. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.